Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a very long time, and for today's video I'll be running through some Grand Mafia enforcers, and this time round I'll be doing the paid enforcers, or basically the enforcers that you have to spend money in order to get it. If you want to refer to the free enforcers, you can take a look at the top right. And yes, let's just dive straight into this video. For some of the heroes, I've recorded some of the animated, really cool animated previews that they have, and of course let's go for the first one, Blade Shadow. When I first saw this card, it's pretty amazing. 30% crew HP, 60% biker attack, and hitman attack 60% for the grand level or the grand tier. Of course, if you can see, this is a $100 buy for just 3 fragments, and I'm not sure if they or these special heroes still follow the same grid where you need 10 fragments to obtain the lowest tier, followed by I think 20 fragments for the next tier up to the green one, and then 50 to the rare tier or the blue tier. So if that's the case, I wouldn't think this is a very worth hero to get, but nonetheless it's a very strong hero. It has way higher grand stats than normal stats. I think usually for crew HP maximum is 25%, and for the rest of the crew attack, I mean the biker or hitman attack, usually is 50% max. But looking at the price, I'm not sure if this is worth. And because late game you want to not focus on one type of troops buff, you want to have a mixture, because this would mean that you can defend really well or even attack really well if your enemy has an equal amount of troops for the bruiser, hitman, and bikers. For this Blade Shadow, I will put just at A tier because it's really expensive. So even though the stats are great, it's difficult to get to the top tier. Okay, next up we have the Enforcer Brutus, and this is a hitman focused one. Everything hitman HP, defense, and attack. What you notice is that usually some of these power pack heroes, I call them power pack because they are really specialized heroes. They, if you were to see the first buy, which I think is about $5, you only get 10 shards, 10 fragments. And if you have a mixture of the heroes, those kind, you probably will get 15 fragments. I'm not sure why some are 10 and some is 15. And of course previously the Blade Shadow is 3 shard because the stats is way above average even for the paid enforcer. So for Brutus, I would think that this would be an A tier, partially because even though it's very specialized, but you get only 10 fragments, and when you buy the future packs, you also get less fragments as compared to those with 15 fragments. Let's go for the next hero. It is, I'm not even sure if I pronounce it properly, Chupacabra. And for this hero, it is a mixture of a hitman, HP attack, and crew defense. If you ask me, this hero is more versatile because of the crew defense. So it will mean that it's probably better to defend, but at the same time this has only 10 fragments, so I will put this as an A tier hero. I don't think you'll see any enforcers go below a C because these are your money that you are paying for. Right, next up we have the El Santo enforcer, and this is a really standard, a really good one. Usually people will try to max this kind of heroes. By this kind of heroes, I mean all kind of crew HP, attack, and defense hero. So for this is an all-rounded hero. Most of the high payer players, they will probably have this at grand level, and I'll put this as an S tier. Alright, next up we have Fang, and for this is a little bit of a mixture of everywhere. You have investment speed, crew defense, and biker attack. So for this hero, I'll put it as B tier. Investment speed is pretty good, but for it to be an A or even an S tier, more of a welfare hero, or not of a attacker hero, I would say. You need to have 3 of the like construction, investment, training, whatever buffs, so that it can go above a B tier. A mixture of something like a farmer and raider isn't going to go above a B tier. Alright, next we have the Huntress, and for this, similar argument as Fang, investment speed, and then you have this Hitman HP and an attack buff. But at the same time, you see Huntress in some of the Kingpin as a very good hero to use. I forgot which Kingpin is it, but nonetheless I will still put it as a B tier for this Huntress. Alright, next up we have Jade, and this is what I'm talking about. You have all the 3 different welfare or farmer skills, the construction, investment, and training speed. And for this, I would put it as an A tier because Jade is really a good starting enforcer for beginners, because you need all of these 3: investment speed, training speed, and construction speed. A tier. Next up we have the Maestro and Pure Bruiser. So if I would link back to Brutus, this would be an A tier as well. Alright, next up we have Mamachita. Dang, this is an interesting name, Mamachita, and this is a pure bikers one. Of course, similar to the previous, the Maestro and the Brutus, it will be an A tier of enforcer. Alright, next up we have the Mentus, and this would be similar to Jade, where you have really good investment speed and train speed, and the diamond production might be more helpful, but overall you can't really earn much from your diamond factories in your turf, so it's still an A tier. Alright, next up we have the Medusa, and this is a little bit of a mixture, but the difference of this mixture is there's crew, defense, and attack. The thing is, why would you get this if you could get all 3: crew, defense, and attack, right? And so even though investment speed is the most valuable of all the farmer components, this would still fall under the B tier for Medusa. Right, this time we got Mickey, and for this, similar argument as Medusa, we have very useful training speed, but we have crew HP and crew attack. And if you were to see, this has only 10 fragments to use, but Medusa has 15. If I were to rate this hero, I'll put it as a C tier because it's not even worth your money. Right, next up we got Mirror, and this is one of the great ultra strong heroes: crew HP, bruiser attack, and biker attack. I would say it's the same argument as before, same as the Blade Shadow, it will be an A tier hero. Oh, next up we got this Nihilista, and we got investment speed, crew defense, and bruiser attack. I would say this has a similar argument as Medusa, and also Maki, but Maki is a bit different. It's 10 fragments, but for Nihilista it's 15 fragments. I don't have the picture, but I remember it's 15 fragments, so it's a B tier card. Alright, this is one of the slightly new heroes, Uka, and this is a bit more concentrated towards the biker, but 1 crew HP plus 25%, and it's at 10 fragments. Though it is not very specialized, but I'm not very sure if this is a really good enforcer, because I'm not a fan of the mixed kind of skills. But nonetheless, I can see its usefulness, a bit more versatile because of the crew HP, and you can combine it with other troops that you have. So this will be an A tier as well. And next up we got Puppy, and for this is a mixture as well, but for this is a 15 fragments. I think before it is, Oka is only 10 fragments, so I would reduce Oka to a B tier because it's not as worth it. 10 fragments, you get Puppy, you can get 15 fragments, and that'll be an A tier. Next we got Red Thorn, and I would give you the same argument as the El Santo. It's an S tier. A lot of players up there have this at Grand tier. Next up we got Sicario, and for this it's a little bit of mixture, biker and crew defense, but 15 fragments, so similar argument to Puppy, A tier. Next up we got the Snowstorm, and for this is a mixture, training speed, crew HP and crew attack. Oh, and it's 10 fragments, so this has the exact same argument as Mickey, so it'll be a C tier. Alright, next up we have Enforcer Tengu, and this is one of the crazy hero, similar to Red Thorn and El Santo, but if you were to notice the difference why people get this at Grand tier is because you get 15 fragments for the same price. You pay for the same price for Red Thorn and El Santo, you get 10 fragments. So if there was a column for this Enforcer, it would be an S plus tier, or just way above. The first hero you should get if you want to destroy people would be Tengu. Okay, next up we have the Count, and this is a little bit of a mixture. Again, we can see it's 10 fragments, so I would say it's a B tier. Of course, last we have Titan. Same argument as Mirror and Blade Shadow is an A tier card. So I think that's it. As per my prediction, none of the paid enforcers should be under the D tier, but we have 2 at the C tier, which I recommend you not to get it. For the S tier, highly recommend. A tier, if you got the money, actually if you got the money, you can just get everything. But yes, this is my final enforcer tier list for the paid enforcers. So I hope this really will help you guide what hero or which enforcer to buy if you do have the money.